Hey there. Sorry here. So I woke up this morning, news was up when I loaded up the game and logged in, and was very pleasantly surprised to see that we are getting finally Neo Vision Zan. So he was the fan favorite in a poll about, I guess feels like it was almost a year ago now that poll came out. So he's finally here, but I gotta say he's definitely, I think I've mentioned in previous videos, he's one of those units that I was, highly anticipating and was, planning to pull. I was just like, you know what, because it's Neo Vision Zan. He's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna pull for him, and it's gonna be great. And yeah. I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. There's a few reasons I'm disappointed. I'm gonna start with the most obvious one, and that is the cost to pity this unit. It is exorbitant. It is beyond stupid. I honestly don't know how Gumi can justify the increase in pity cost. We'll start by saying he is a premium unit. Okay, so that means, you get a vision card at EX3, premium units just generally cost more. He is not an NV Plus unit. That's neither here nor there. I honestly wasn't expecting him to be NV Plus. Just a Neo Vision version of the Zan that we all know and love. Whether or not he is going to sort of live up to that hype, I don't know. But the cost here is absolutely stupid. At a minimum, all right, bare minimum, to pity this unit, you are spending 75,000 lapis. 75,000 lapis, all right? Premium units typically have been, just staying pretty constant at around 60,000. I think a little less than 60,000 if you want to do like the cheapest option. But we'll just say averaging 60,000 based on the different paths to pity. Ever since the Wonders Flash Lightning debacle that happened back in, when was it? I don't know, like September maybe, August or September of last year, when they decided to jack up the cost of premium units to over 70,000 lapis with Wonders Flash Lightning. That they saw that, that was easily one of the worst months as far as income for the game that Gumi saw. That was also the same month that Ellis Barris came out, which she was largely panned as just a dreadful unit on release. So that month was a really bad month for Gumi, so bad that they put out the whole survey trying to see what our problem was with the game, when it was quite obvious what the problem was. And it seems like they've sort of relapsed. They've forgotten that whole controversy. Maybe they just think it's been long enough that people won't remember that. And, I think we need to remember that was an unjustified pity cost. Now, I pulled for Lightning back then because I wanted her. I wanted her as a unit. But honestly, looking back on it, definitely not worth it. I used her for maybe 2 Clash of Wills, and I've used her for some trials outside of Clash of Wills. She was definitely not worth that increase in pity price. I cannot understand what Gumi is thinking here, and I cannot possibly think of how they will justify this. Now, we all know that, the 7-star Mastermind Zan was a broken unit. He could steal buffs and share them, and they did put that in the news down here. All right, he does have that projected mirror ability, but I want to remind everybody that this is only half of what made Mastermind Zan great, right? So the projected mirror was great because he could project all of his buffs. Whatever buffs he had acquired, he could project them out onto the entire party. And that is what this ability here does. But the other half of that was Zan's ability to selectively steal certain buffs from other party members. We don't know if he's going to have those abilities in his kit. And that is part of what makes him great. The projected mirror is only good, right, if he has all the best buffs on him. All right, if he doesn't have all the best buffs on him, then he can't project those out to the party. If he can't selectively steal buffs from other units, then this may not be as valuable as we all think it is. Now, with that said, it's still a really cool, really broken ability, and now that he's finally Neo Vision, we can bring this ability, and we can bring him with this ability into like Clash of Wills, and bring him into content, you know, like Dark Visions, where he will actually be able to contribute more than just being sort of that that spreader, that super spreader is what we can call him. And so all this just to say, does this justify an increase in pity cost of over 15,000 lapis for a minimum? Okay, now that's just a minimum if you just want Zan, you don't want the special vision card. The special vision card that comes on the banner does a single target ramping machine killer. So if you think that would be useful, it's of course, you know, it could be useful on Zan himself, because he can cast it to himself, and then once it reaches the 250 killer, he can spread it to everybody. That is going to be really useful, I think, in the upcoming Vision world, because all the bosses are machines. So having that machine killer buff and then having Zan to spread it to everybody could be extremely useful. All right, but is it worth it? I don't know. If you want the vision card and to pity Zan, that's going to cost you 81,000 lapis. Okay, 81,000 for the for the vision card and a guaranteed Neo Vision Zan. Keep in mind he is a premium unit, so you're not getting any extra shards. So if you go all the way to pity and you don't pull a Zan anywhere along the way, you are stuck at EX0, and he is an SLB unit. All right, there's his super limit burst. So at EX0, you have no access to his super limit burst. Keep that in mind. All right, this is a lot of lapis that Gumi is asking for this unit. And honestly, I don't see any way they can justify it. He would have to be so incredibly broken to justify this price increase. And me personally, like, you know, before, if Zan, if they had announced Zan coming out this week and he was at a normal pity cost, I would have said, yep, too easy. I don't even care what his kit looks like. It's Zan. He's going to be awesome. Take my lapis. Now I am definitely not pulling right away. I will wait to see his kit. I'll wait to see if Gumi maybe makes a statement about this stupidly big increase in lapis cost, because I think it's a mistake, and I think they should realize it's a mistake to increase the pity price like this, and you know, make an adjustment before he comes out. But honestly, I'm going to rely on ad summons for the first week. I'm gonna sit on it. I'm gonna sit on it for a week. I'm gonna rely on ad summons to see if I can pick up a Zan on those and save myself. If after a week it looks like he is, if it looks like the cost is justified and I haven't pulled one on ad summons, I might go in on and pull for him. But honestly, I just don't see it. Now, we haven't had the data mine. Obviously, you know, data mine comes out during maintenance. We'll see what the kit looks like. But I don't know. That's a lot. And look, you can see I have almost 200,000 saved up, and I'm seriously considering, you know, and I'm seriously considering not pulling, because that is just way too much to ask for a unit. Even though I could afford him twice over with the lapis that I have saved up, I don't want to spend that much on a single unit. It's absurd. Yeah, I mean, looking at what he has, what the news gives us, all right, we can certainly speculate. I do like what they've shown us in his kit. With all of this said, I do like what they've shown us. He is mainly a breaker, but also has the attacker tag. I do like his SLB, that it has an Omni Imperil on it and a break, a full break that's AoE. I do like that. We'll have to wait and see what the numbers are. If if the Omni Imperil is like, 150 to all elements, that could actually be, pretty great. And then you just, make sure you have an Imperil field. He probably has an Imperil field in his kit. It's probably for dark because he is a dark unit. I do like his STMR. The fact that it has 3 100% killers on it is pretty amazing. His leader skill is just meh. It's basically Celeste leader skill, but for dark units. And that's whatever. I think that's going to be kind of the standard going forward with these Clash of Wills units, until they eventually, power creep that up a little bit. His featured EX ability is reduce dark resistance for all enemies and fill morale gauge, 1 use per battle. My guess is that this is going to be a really big dark imperil. This could be sort of the beginning of these like 200% elemental imperils, because I know over on the JP side, units have been getting these like 200% imperils to like their favorite element. Like for example, the latest NV plus Tifa has a 200% water imperil. The latest NV plus Tyvus has a 200% light imperil. Just some examples. And it is an EX ability, so that will most likely be at EX2. All right, so don't expect to get that at EX0. I'm not sure, what other abilities will be locked behind EX levels. Hopefully the projected mirror isn't locked behind like EX2 or something. I do like this innervating eclipse ability here. I think there is, I think what this ends up being could be, potentially where we sort of see the value in the unit coming from. So it's a 2-use Magnus. It looks like it's usable inside and outside of Clash. If it was only usable inside of Clash, it would actually say in morale battles only. And it is an Omni weapon imperil and an Omni and an all stat break to all enemies on the field, 2 uses per battle. It doesn't tell you how long it lasts. It could be just like a 2-turn thing, intended to like set you up for your big burst in Dark Visions or Clash of Wills or whatever. But knowing the percentages on these, which we'll get in the data mine, will sort of be a big clue as to why Gumi thinks this unit cost, has such a high value. If the weapon imperils are like, 35%, I doubt they would go as high as 40% on all weapons. That would be pretty stupidly broken if they did like 40%, because that's kind of what the units these days have for like a single element for like their target weapon. I doubt he would be that powerful, but if it was like a 30 or 35%, that's probably more likely. If it's less than 30%, that's just useless. It's garbage. The breaks, if they are 89% or lower, again, that's garbage. 89 is the standard nowadays for these types of breaks. My hope is that they would just go ahead and give him a 90% full break on all enemies. That might be, no, I shouldn't say that. It's still not worth a 15,000 lapis increase in the pity price for a 90% full break. Is it broken? Yeah, probably. Is it worth 75,000 lapis? I don't think so. But I do like seeing that in his kit, and it pains me because I want to pull for Zan. I want to pull for this unit because I've loved every iteration of Zan that's come out, but I just honestly I cannot wrap my brain around dropping 75,000 lapis for him. Yeah, and again, we'll just have to wait and see what the data mine comes out to be. But look, I've broken down the different paths to pity for this unit. Really, in my opinion, there are only 2 options: 75,000 for just Zan, 81,000 if you want the Vision card on the Vision card step up banner. But honestly, the best option may be just to not pull at all. Send Gumi a signal that this is uncalled for. it worked with Wondrous Flash Lightning. The backlash from that caused Gumi to like quickly just drop the pity price back down to below 60,000 for a premium. When it's funny because before Wondrous Flash Lightning, premium cost was locked at 60,000, and then Lightning came out, increased it to like over 70, and then immediately after that, pity for premiums was dropped down to like 58,500, and has been sitting at that for the minimum pity cost ever since. So maybe we take this opportunity to make a stand. We let Gumi know once again that this type of practice is unacceptable. And it really peeves me that they're dropping him during the first Vision World event that we've had in months, right? We've had this drought of content and this drought of anything that would give us free Lapis for months, right? The Lapis economy right now is absolutely dreadful. And yet they have the nerve to ask us to spend more for a premium unit. And on top of that, they give us a Vision World, which has the potential to net you 10,000 free Lapis, and yet they increase the pity cost by 15,000 Lapis. That is just wrong. That is just wrong, okay? Guminomics is just stupid. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they think they can get away with this. And honestly, I don't think they should get away with it. So in my opinion, if you want to make a statement, you want to take a stand, do not spend Lapis on Zan. I don't see how they can justify it. I'm not going to spend any Lapis on him at first, unless it seems like if he comes out and the kit is just like so broken that he's like the end, the breaker to end all breakers, or the support to end all supports. I can't see how we can justify it. So I'm gonna give it a week on ad summons and see what I get, and just hope that I pull him on some ad summons, and then I'll kind of I'll come back to it and just kind of regroup and see if it just feels like it's worth it or not in a week's time. But yeah, that's my stance on it. That's my rant. Another thing, I am going to be away this weekend, so I'm not sure that I'll be able to get to any Vision World content right away. It is what it is. I need a little vacation anyway, so taking the family on a little holiday this weekend. So may or may not get around to doing any Vision World for a week anyway. So I may just take the week off and see you guys next week, and we'll go from there. So thank you guys for following me. Hopefully this was a useful little public service announcement, and I will see you on the other side.